College football is back, and week one could not have been any better. 3 top 10 matchups of field storming. Adam, I love football so much.
I love football. You know what else? I love bringing the juice. That's exactly what we're going to do in the Juicer as AJ Myers joins us. We're also going to be selling the hottest takes from this first week of college football. Should be a fun time.
As always, we've got our plays of the week and our final words. It's the first No Pope of the year, and it starts right now.
The best performance, I think, all year from Ohio State against Oregon in the Rose Bowl.
They just don't lose at the shoe.
I love what Juju Watkins has done for the sport of basketball.
To stay alive, can they hook them? Touchdown!
They have the most prolific goal scorer of all time.
He will fire.
Well, he's the guy.
I'm the guy.
Ian's the guy today.
Experience is what matters when it comes to Omaha.
Valuable. You know the
Hold
number
on.
does everything for a
Hold
team.
on.
First time, how are we feeling, Jake?
I'm excited to win the Juicer.
Well, how about that new No Pope
I love
intro
it.
video?
Oh,
Couldn't be
great.
any better. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Adam Gotkin alongside Adam Avin. You know, we have fun in the spring with basketball and lacrosse, but football is just a different animal. It's so much more fun.
There's
isn't
nothing like it. You wait for that first Saturday, and what we wait for is to come on here and talk about it. So we're excited to do just that.
And that first Saturday was truly something special. We got to first talk about the marquee game, big noon kickoff, number 1 versus number 3 in the country, and the Ohio State Buckeyes, the reigning national champions, came out on top, beat Texas in an absolute slugfest, 14-7. 2 teams with new starting quarterbacks, and Adam, both of them did not look very good.
They didn't look really good. And let's talk Texas first. They got the absolute hardest draw out of any team week 1. You got to go against the defending champions. This is legitimately a stat that I saw at them. It was the 4th time a number 1 team in the AP preseason poll has met the previous season's national champion in the opener. The defending champion won the last 3. Texas was doomed from the beginning, and Arch Manning needed to perform. He failed.
How can you say Texas was doomed from the beginning when Ohio State also had to play the number 1 team in the country to start its season? Both teams had really tough matchups
I'm a
to start
firm
the year.
believer in to be the best, you gotta beat the best. Ohio State won the national championship. They should have been the number 1 seed from the beginning. It doesn't make much sense to
I
me.
disagree
They
with
won
that.
the championship.
They're
Julian
different
Saint's
teams
not the
now.
better quarterback. Yes, it's a different team now, but to go into week 1 as the defending national champions and rank number 3, give them the number 1. They should be after this week anyways.
But I don't think so. Now, I don't think Texas should have been number 1 because I never really believed in Arch Manning, and he proved that in this game. He just did not look good at all. Now, to be fair, Steve Sarkisian did not help out Arch Manning. He didn't open up the playbook at all, and I don't think I really paid attention to how much Texas lost on the offensive side of things.
Right.
Losing Matthew Golden and Isaiah Bond, I think, is such a massive, massive deal for Arch Manning because those were the 2 guys for yours last year, and without them, it's a completely different offense.
Look, we can't throw away our Arch Manning hope just yet. He was the odds-on favorite.
That's early.
It's early. He was the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman. You know what his uncle Peyton Manning did when he first entered the NFL? He led the league in interceptions. Sometimes that happens. It takes players a while to get adjusted to doing things. Arch Manning came in last year as Quinn Ewers' backup and had 2 really great games. He threw for 400 yards against UTSA, right? I mean, or UTEP, whatever. That's what he did against a bad defense. We have yet to see him perform against a team with the defensive caliber that Ohio State has. Julian Sayin did what he did. He was fine in this game. Nothing special. It was a defensive battle from the beginning. Texas tried to come back at the end, and at the end of the day, despite it not being a great 3.5-hour-long football game, that 4th quarter was exciting. They tried to come back, and that one throw that he made, the 32-yard touchdown to finally get them back in the game, is something you hope to see from Arch Manning going forward.
It is, and if I do have to give Texas credit for anything, it's how they played Jeremiah Smith. I mean, he had 6 receptions and less than 8 yards per reception. Stopping those big plays kept the Longhorns in the game.
All right, well, let's talk about big plays. Alabama didn't do that this past weekend against Florida State. An unranked FSU squad at home defeats the number 8 team in the country, 31-17, led by Tommy Castellanos, the exile from Boston College, finally came back and performed like the guy everybody expected him to at the start of last year. What a performance from the Noles, number 8 team in the country. I was so impressed by Mike Norvell's squad. We haven't seen this in 2 years. They look regenerated, renewed.
I'm totally on the opposite side of things. I couldn't care less of how Mike Norvell looked. I'm all in on Kalen DeBoer was never the guy for this job. What, he was the head coach at Washington for 2 years and was never really good before that as a head coach. I mean, this is a guy
he made the natty.
At Washington one season. Other than that, he never really did much, and he got the job at Alabama. How? I mean,
you know why he got the job at Alabama?
Because he had one
Mike
good
Norvell
season.
turned it down.
Because he had one good season. And the way that his team plays is not how Alabama football plays. 8 penalties for 70 yards.
Yeah.
And they just are so undisciplined.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to watch. This is not the Alabama that we know. This is a completely different football team, and it's DeBoer's time to go. I am done with him at Alabama. That is the easiest place to coach in the country, and he has absolutely failed.
You're right. I mean, he needs to be on the hot seat.
These are insane. 4 unranked losses. Saban only ever had 4.
Right.
That is, if there's not a fireable offense, I don't know what there is. He should have been gone after last year.
Hey, I mean, there's still an opportunity for him to get, 118 unranked wins?
I mean, come on, he's perfect.
He has time to catch up. Look, the Seminoles were 13.5-point underdogs in this game. They ended the Crimson Tide streak of 23 straight wins in season openers.
But that streak doesn't matter because that's all Nick Saban.
Ridiculous. No, I know, but it shows the kind of dominance that Nick Saban and Alabama had for so long. Where was the rushing game? Where were the normal traits that Alabama has game in and game out year after year?
It's a new coach.
Gone.
Because, this guy right here doesn't know what he's doing and should be fired. That's why.
I don't disagree with you.
Now, 2 coaches that I do like,
Still too
Dabo
early.
Sweeney and Brian Kelly, the Battle of the Tigers, the Battle of Death Valley. They played a really good football game. I've got no issues with the coaching there. And it was LSU who came out on top on the road 17-10. I think that out of all the games this weekend, Adam, this was the one that was the best pure football game.
Yeah.
I thought that both quarterbacks, while not great, didn't really look that bad, and it was just overall one heck of a day, one heck of a game to end that incredible Saturday.
Shout out Brian Kelly. As silly as it is, sometimes coaches and players, for that matter, need to overcome the ghosts that haunt them for years, right? He had yet to win a season opener in a long time. He had yet to do it with LSU and being the head coach there, right? This was a battle. This was exciting. ACC, SEC, kind of the story of the whole weekend. And once again, the SEC walks away with the victory. Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik, we have to talk about these two guys because for a long time, they're at the top of every draft board. People are excited to see what these guys were going to do this year. I think they're both very good. I mean,
Klubnik did not do it for me. He has, I saw an NFL scout say it, and I completely agree. He has these panic moments where he just falls apart.
Right.
If you go out of the pocket, or if Klubnik goes out of the pocket, he has no idea what to do. He doesn't have that Jaden Daniels calmness gene in him where he can, just make plays on the greatest quarterback ever. Had to get that in there, you know me. But Klubnik just doesn't have that. And then on top of that, his run game just did not help him at all. You have to run the football to win. Adam Randall, their top running back, great name, not a great running back. He had 5 carries for 16 yards. You can't win a football game like that.
Last thing before we go, Cade Klubnik in his last 4 starts for SEC schools is 0-4 with 0 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Talk about being doomed from the beginning.
Not great at all. Well, it was an incredible first weekend, and we've got some more incredible No Pulp when we come back. The first juicer of the year, AJ Myers, joins the show. We'll see if he can get the victory. Welcome back into No Pulp. Adam Gotkin, Adam Avin. Now joined by AJ Myers. We've actually got 3 AJs here. I think that's got to be
A lot of
a new
debates,
record.
right? Going to happen here, but no debate on the 2 best initials.
No,
right?
it's without a doubt the best.
Adam Jack, Adam Jacob,
Yeah.
Andrew John. Look at that.
It's incredible. Well, as much as we would love to talk about the great first 2 initials in our names, we do actually have to talk some more football. And we'll start things off here on the Juicer with the most surprising individual performance from Week 1. Adam, you're the host. I'll go to you first.
All right, well, I got to go with a guy who caused a lot of drama this offseason in Nico Imaliava. And why is he the most surprising quarterback player performance from this first week? It's because he got the brakes beat off of him by an unranked Utah team, 43-10. He threw 50% of his passes for only 22 of them, 136 yards and a touchdown with a pick, and got 40 hung on him after making his dad go into Josh Heupel's office and say, "You're not
Ask for
paying
some
me
more
enough
dough,
money.
yeah.
I got to get out of there." They swapped quarterbacks with Joey Aguilar. That's a guy who surprised me because you expected, after the money he chased, a new program he needed to join, right? That was surprising. Bad performance from Nico Imaliava.
I wasn't that surprised. I mean, 60% completion percentage. He was around that almost all of last season. He never really did rush for that many yards either. I'm going to go with a bit of surprise here. I'm going to go Ole Miss, Kewan Lacey. I thought he had a really impressive first game for the Rebels. How about 16 carries, over 100 yards, and 3 scores? His freshman year at Missouri, he came nowhere close to that. In fact, Adam, I don't know which Adam I'm talking to, but both Adams, I guess, he never scored a touchdown at Missouri. He's got a good Rebels O-line in front of him, and he was just the 3rd Rebels running back with multiple rushing TDs in a debut since 2000. I think Lacey is a name you're going to start hearing a lot more of the rest of the season, and this could be the first of many really big performances.
Against what team did they play, though? Georgia
Hey, it's just
State?
the first one. It's just the first
Look,
one. Nico's stats, that was
here's
Nico
the thing.
all
Hold on.
last year,
All right,
basically.
here's the
All
thing.
right, that's fine.
Tennessee fans, if you talk to them this weekend, were not at all upset that Nico left. Because of that, I got to go with AJ here. Deshaun Foster at UCLA is an awful football coach. He's worse than Kalen DeBoer.
Kind of start I'm looking for.
So it's 1-0 AJ in his Juicer debut. So, next question, the most disappointing team in Week 1. AJ, who do you got?
You guys just talked about it. It has to be Alabama. It's never a good thing when the fan base at halftime is Googling how much the buyout is going to be for the contract. That is not a good thing at all, and you guys really harped on it. What really got to me was the rushing. Florida State ran all over the Tide. They put up 230 yards on the ground. Alabama put up just 90. Kalen DeBoer, you both said it. I mean, he's got to be in the firing realm here somewhere because it just isn't working out for him. Already 4 losses to unranked teams. It's just unacceptable, and I was shocked to see it.
All right, well, you're using our own words against us. I understand that. But we talked about not being impressed with Kalen DeBoer a season ago. They only won 8 games. Let's talk about a team that won 12, won the conference, and won a bowl game in Army. Shout out USA, right? That's an Army team that went and won 12 games. Okay, that was the best record, the best season the Black Knights have had in the 135 years of their program. They returned nearly every defensive player, a defense that held a lot of really solid programs last year. They're not playing SEC caliber teams, we understand that. But for Army to have the best season of their career and follow it up with a loss to Tarleton State, an FCS program who just beat their 2nd FBS team in program history, Army, what a disappointing team performance in Week 1.
I watch one Army game a year.
AJ, here's the thing. I think if there was anyone else, then you might win here, but I was not disappointed by DeBoer because I knew he was going to lose that game. So I got Adam here. You're in the lead, 2-1.
All right.
Now we have the 3-point question. So the winner of this one wins the Juicer.
No bonus.
And the question is,
All the marbles.
best quarterback play in Week 1. Adam, I'm going to you first.
All right, well, this one is tricky, but you heard me talk about it before. AJ, you said Alabama got all ran over.
Yep.
Tommy Castellanos from the Knolls, FSU. This is a guy who was exiled from his former program, who left, who went into another team in the ACC. And Mike Norvell said, we're going to turn you around. They might have the best coordinator duo in the country now at FSU, and Gus Malzahn is bringing Castellanos back. This is a guy who ran for 80 yards and a touchdown against the 8th-ranked team in the country after barely playing all last year. What a performance from Castellanos. Love to see what he did. I'm still a big FSU hater, but I cannot deny the greatness I saw against an SEC defense like Alabama in Week 1.
I'm going to go with the guy I've been a big fan of since his freshman year, Lenora Sellers out of South Carolina. I thought his freshman year he started off a bit wobbly, but then he really figured things out, especially towards the end of the year. And against Virginia Tech, I think he showed that maturity. He had 7 interceptions total last year, none in week 1. He threw for 200 yards, also had a touchdown pass, 25 yards on the ground, and he ran in for a score. I really like Sellers. I think he really embodies this entire Gamecocks program.
Look, I like Lenore Sellers a lot. Former Syracuse commit. People forget that. But South Carolina's not winning that game if they don't return the punt for a touchdown. It wasn't because of Sellers. Florida State won because of Castellanos, a guy who got benched by Boston College. Because of that, Adam Avin, you were the first juicer winner this year.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it.
Sorry, AJ.
Oh,
you shake hands
love
here.
it, buddy.
Nice and cordial.
First juicer appearance, you still got a point on me.
Pretty good for his first juicer.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we've got to say goodbye to AJ right now and roll on here on No Pulp. When we come back, we're buying and selling some takes after week 1. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
All right, we are back, and we're going to deliver some hot takes. I'm very happy I just got my first win in the juicer with Adam Gotkin as my partner. It's been a while since I've gotten that dub, so thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course. Non-partial, but you did give the better
All
arguments.
right, well, there you go. And I think I had the better arguments in this segment here. We're going to go some buy or sell. I love this this jump back, this graphic by our producer, Ryan. I mean, he always makes cool stuff. I don't know if, I don't know where my neck is, though. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So we got our first take here, Adam. We're going to buy or sell these statements. And we've been talking Ohio State, the Big Ten. I said Ohio State was the best team in the Big Ten. But Penn State, who had a really explosive win in week 1, do you think they're the best team in the Big Ten, buy or sell?
I do. I'm buying that take.
Wow.
Look, James Franklin, you can say what he want. I think he got his big wins last year, beating SMU, beating Boise State in the playoff, and he brings back so much from last year's team. First off, Drew Aller is the best quarterback in that conference. I don't even think that's a debate. He looked really good in the playoff, and he's just calm and composed, and he gets the job done. He was good last year, too, without any receivers. This year, they brought in our darling Trevor Pena from Syracuse, Devontae Ross, a 1,000-yard receiver from Troy, and Kyron Hudson, who was really good at USC. The thing that really takes that offense over the edge is they somehow bring back their 2 all-star running backs in Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, and then that defense at Penn State is always elite. James Franklin always knows what he's doing there, and I just think that with the amount that they bring back, it's hard for me to say that anyone else is better.
I mean, look, I'm going to go fast here. We can move on to the next question. I said it earlier in the show. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And Penn State's going to have an opportunity this year to beat Ohio State. If they do that, I'll give them the crown. But for me, until Ohio State gets beaten, they're the defending champs for a reason. They're the best team in the conference.
It's fair, but with the amount of turnover nowadays, I disagree with that argument. But you know what? We can disagree. That's okay. Well, next up, the Oklahoma Sooners. That's a team that has really, really struggled recently. Brent Venables, 4th year now. He's been 500 2 seasons. Do you think that this is the year they can compete in the SEC?
So it's a tough question. Do I think that they can win the conference? Do I think that they're going to be national championship contenders? Probably not. But the question is, can they go on a run to an SEC title? Yeah, sure, why not? I'm buying that take. John Mateer transferring in, had a very nice game. Yeah, they played like Illinois State. I mean, whatever. But they still put up 35 points. He still threw for like 300 yards and a few touchdowns. I was impressed with enough of what I saw from him. Now the real tests start, right? A couple weeks down the line, they're going to play some real opponents. but they also have kind of an easier schedule than some of those higher up SEC teams. I don't know if they purposely built the scheduling that way, but if Mateer can go on the road, win some better SEC games this season as the season progresses, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an Oklahoma defense that is pretty good and an offense led by Mateer trying to make a run for an SEC title down the line. So I'm buying that.
I don't think Brent Venables is a good coach. He took $1 million pay cut this offseason. I like to think it was more of Oklahoma saying, you don't deserve this million.
You know?
No, he did not deserve that million. So because of that, I am selling this take. I don't think Oklahoma is good at all. Here's the thing about that Illinois State game. Yeah, Mateer threw for 392 yards, but the rushing attack averages 3.2 yards per carry, and they're going to face a really tough schedule ahead. They have Michigan next week. That's going to be a really difficult game. Mateer's not going to be able to throw for almost 400 yards, and if you can't run the football and establish the run against a team like Illinois State, how are you supposed to do that against Michigan or the SEC teams?
But Michigan also had a lot of turnover. Bryce Underwood, do you really think he's going to outperform John Mateer?
But that's not the thing, though. I'm saying this Oklahoma trenches, their offensive and defensive line, it just doesn't do it for me. Venables has been 500 in 2 of his 3 years. I think it's time for him to go.
All right, well, if they would have played Syracuse, it would have beat the brakes off them too. SEC, ACC, stuff like that. All right, here is an interesting one, Adam. And we talk about icons in sports. We talk about guys making a mark, John Mateer, Drew Aller, guys who are trying to be great players on the field. How about off the field? Deion Sanders, bad loss from Colorado this week, Adam. Deion Sanders, do you think he's peaked as his time as a college coach? Buy or sell?
I'm buying this because here's the thing. If you asked me before this game, I honestly might say sell. But the in-game coaching decisions have not gotten any better.
Fair.
The end of that game was just so horrible to watch. There was, I think, 23 seconds between the first and second plays of the final drive after a 2-yard bubble screen or throw underneath.
They had multiple
timeouts.
They had
2 timeouts, and he doesn't call any timeouts. I just don't understand what in the world Deion Sanders is doing. And look, I know we can say what we want about Shedeur, but Colorado would not have won as many games as they did last year if Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter didn't do their crazy what are you doing plays that somehow worked. And I don't see it this year. I don't think that Caden Salter, the transfer quarterback from Liberty, is the guy. I'd actually like to see Julian Lewis, the freshman 5-star, see what maybe he can do. But right now, I don't see it with Deion, especially with his in-game coaching.
Well, look, you kind of made my point for me. That's why I'm going to sell this take and why I do have a little bit of faith in Deion. I think it's pretty clear that he might not be the best coach from a game managing perspective, but he's a great leader. Guys like Julian Lewis and 5-stars are going to want to play for Deion Sanders. He is so passionate. The recruits that he gets, people are going on FS1, on ESPN, and all these, on Pat McAfee, all these shows, saying, I'm choosing Colorado because I believe in Deion Sanders, in Coach Prime. That's why they go play for Colorado. It's not necessarily about the product that's coming out on the field. That comes with time.
That's what's most important,
100%. But Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are guys that he brought with him from Jackson State. Now it's his term with a new recruiting class at his new school. Now we're really going to see what Colorado can do and put them to the test. I think a couple years from now, Deion Sanders might be back. Right now, that was a rough game. We'll see if they can bounce back.
I don't know if he gets a couple years, though.
Ooh.
Might go to the NFL, maybe? Who knows?
Who knows? All right, but when we come back, we're going to bring our plays of the week and our final words. You don't want to miss it from the hottest stories in Week 1.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We're just about ready to wrap things up here on No Pulp. Adam Gotkin and Adam Avin back with you. And We'll end things today, as we always do, with our plays of the week and our final words.
Yep.
First, our plays of the week. If you watch our shows, you know that I like to go to the small schools, and I'm going South Dakota State, Sacramento State. Chase Van Tol leaps over the guy and then makes the sack. That is one of the crazier defensive plays that I think I have ever seen. Van Tol jumps over Damian Henderson, who is 6'2", and he easily clears him, gets on his feet after, and still somehow gets the sack. Just crazy stuff from Van Tol.
That's ridiculous, but a play that was more ridiculous comes from a bigger school. You watched that Miami-Notre Dame game last night? Of course there's competition. How about we take a look at this play from C.J. Daniels and Carson Beck. Carson Beck avoids the sack, gets the throw wobbly. C.J. Daniels, one hand, cocks it all the way back, gets the touchdown.
There.
Bad throw, but what a play. What a play. Oh, my God. Look at that. That's just absolutely ridiculous. C.J. Daniels goes back and makes the grab. Wow. I was watching this on the plane, and I saw 10 hands go up in the air. What a play from Beck and Daniels. I love watching that.
Time for our final words for the first time this year. And look, I am sick of these neutral site football games. The thing that makes college football great is the passion. I was glued to my TV as Clemson ran down the hill before playing LSU in the Battle of the Tigers, the Battle of Death Valley. Florida State beating Alabama at Doak Campbell and all the fans rushing the field was the picture of the weekend. Sunday's Virginia Tech South Carolina game had the chance to be maybe the most emotionally captivating one of the weekend. Shane Beamer's return to his alma mater and the place that raised him would have been incredible. Lenora Sellers giving Frank Beamer the game ball after the game almost brought a tear to my eye. Now imagine, instead of that being in Atlanta, that was at Lane Stadium. Imagine Enter Sandman. 65,000 people with Beamer ball back home. But instead, that game was played in a stadium that was 75% full. The neutral site games are a massive disservice to the fans, players, and everyone else involved. Unless it's a bowl game or a conference championship, every game should be played on campus.
It's not a bad take. I'd want to be at some of these games. It's a lot of fun. All right, well, I'm going to talk about one of the biggest stories from the week. As sports fans, there are icons who are larger than life. In college football history, there may be no bigger icon than Lee Corso. Known for his eccentric personality and electric takes, Corso has been a staple of your Saturday mornings for 4 decades on ESPN's College Game Day. There is nothing more exciting than watching Coach put on some headgear to make his pick. In 1996, he put on the head of Brutus the Buckeye and picked Ohio State to win the game. 29 years on Saturday, the same thing happened. To make things crazier, Corso ended his career picking 66% of his all-time headgear picks correctly. Over 30 years! To take it one step further, out of his 6 game picks on his last show this past Saturday, Coach got all of them right. And on the last day of his television career, every single team that Lee Corso ever played for or coached, including the Noles, won their game this weekend. The perfect way to wrap up the legendary career of maybe the best sports gambler of all time and a college football icon that we have and always will look up to.
Lee Corso is one of those people that I think we're always going to think of when we think of college football. It's just such a special thing to turn on your TV and always see College Game Day and Corso. It's a shame that he won't be there.
One of the all-time greats.
Absolutely. Well, there's also one college football game going on tonight, and Bill Belichick's making his debut. And oh boy, he is struggling. TCU and Sonny Dykes leading UNC 27-7.
Whoa.
UNC scored a touchdown on their first drive. Looked incredible. And then it was all TCU after that.
This is breaking news. Man. We're getting this in our ears right now. This isn't the TCU team with Max Duggan that played in the Natty a couple years ago. And this isn't the UNC team with Drake May either. Bill Belichick's brought in all his guys. I didn't necessarily expect this, Adam. I didn't expect them to be down this much. I expected them. It's Bill Belichick.
Got to get Jordan down to the sidelines, I think. She's up in the booth with Randy Moss.
Don't bring up Jordan.
She's the coach, right?
I guess.
She's maybe that's the bad influence. I don't know. More Jordan, less, I don't know.
UNC will be here on campus in Syracuse later this year. We'll see what happens.
Halloween night. Can't wait for it. Well, we thank you all so much for tuning into this edition of No Pulp. For Adam Avin, I'm Adam Gotkin. We'll see you all next week. Have a great rest of your night.